the Snow family. Have you guys heard about the AWS Snow family? Okay, if not, let's explore that. Okay, and also we'll discuss about the gateway technology storage gateway options available. But let's talk about the Snow family first. So the technology, the Snow family, right? It is mainly used for transferring large amount of capacity to AWS. If you have a transferring requirement of very huge capacity or large amount of data into AWS, okay, I mean, there are two things, right? If you have huge amount of data and if you have very less internet bandwidth, then comes the Snow family requirement, or you can leverage the Snow family. Okay, so very less bandwidth, you can just go and use the Snow family here. Okay, they call it as, I don't know, like even the internet is also getting very slow. So it is mainly for large scale data transport. Okay, so if you have a lot of data to be migrated into AWS or out of AWS, then you work with the Snow family option. There are many options here. So if you go and order this, you get 3 options here. So they call it a SNOWCONE, they call it a SNOWBALL and SNOWMOBILE. Okay, there are 3 options. So if you have a very small workload or if you want to copy very less data, so they will be sending you hard disk first. Okay, the hard disk is the smaller one. Okay, if you look at the diagram here, you'll be able to relate it. There are 3 options. They call it as SNOWCONE, which is the smallest one. They will be sending you hard disks, or you can also have your own hard disks can be sent to Amazon data center, and this has to be compliant with their requirement. So they have a list actually. It has to be following the compliancy list or compliant list from Amazon. You cannot just purchase any disk and send it. It has to support encryption. It has to have some password options. Those hard disks can be used, and you can send it to Amazon data center and they will copy it to S3 and they will give you access. And the next one is the SNOWBALL. It is like a what do you call it? It will be like a server hardware. Okay, server hardware with storage capacity. Okay, it will have internal capacity of some 50 terabyte or 30 terabyte, and you can send the data using that particular thing. Let me show you the picture. So let's not go by theory. Let's me show like AWS SNOWCONE. If you go into the images, this is the disk that they will be sending you. Okay, they will be sending you this disk. You can insert this disk to your network. Okay, it's not like USB option. It's a network option. You can connect this particular disk to your system or then the network. It also gives you USB option, but mostly people will be using the network option or the network port here, and they will be transferring the data. And okay, let me copy this image. This will simplify a lot of questions or a lot of write-up. Okay, if you have around 8 TB capacity that needs to be transferred, then go for SNOWCONE. Okay, if you have around 80 terabyte, then you can go for SNOWBALL, which is the server kind of option. If you have more than 100 petabytes, go and order this container. They will be sending a container to your data center, and you can start copying the data to the container and you can send it. Okay, there are 3 different options they provide. Based on your capacity, you can go and send, you can go and request for SNOWCONE, which is a hard disk, which can be connected to the network, as well as it can be connected via the USB option. And this is SNOWBALL, which is again a server which can be connected to network. This can copy up to 80 terabytes of data. And if you want to copy exabytes of data, if you have more than 100 petabytes, go for SNOWMOBILE. Okay, it is a container. Okay, with container with racks of storage, server, disks. And I can show you the picture. Okay, SNOWMOBILE. So they will be sending this container next to you, I mean, to your data center, and you can keep this container next to your data center. This is the container that they will send, and you can like, let me show you. So you have to go and find a space to place this container, and it will have a cable called InfiniBand technology cable. This can transfer up to 40 Gbps in 40 Gbps per second in one small cable itself. It is a combined cable. Okay, there will be a lot of cable combined together into this, and they can transfer very huge capacity. Okay, let me see if, okay, this is what it is. Okay, it can it's like a 45-foot container. If you look at inside, it will be full of storage and disks and all those things. And the first thing is they will come and survey your data center, whether you have space. If you talk about Hong Kong or Singapore and all, you will the data center will be in 50th floor or 100th floor, right? You will not have option to come and park the container. First thing is they will look at the data center, whether see in US and all, you will have option to come and park this container like this. You can go and make the container stand, and they will also have some police also. They will have some escort. Okay, it's not like they will just come and launch it. They will have a escort 24/7 to survive, to have keep surveillance of the, because we are talking about important data, right? It's company's important information, and they also provide you the information about the how long it is, how much speed it can support, and so on. Okay, this is a very good option. Lot of not lot of customer, very few customers have already done that. They have used the container option to send data. Okay, one very popular use case is the digital globe, right? Have you guys heard about the digital globe organization? So they have used this particular technology. Okay, so they are a company which provide images from the satellite. Okay, so they collect all the satellite images like Google Maps or whatever your Uber or whatever you are using, right? All those satellite images are the images that comes from the satellite. This organization stores it and they provide it for consumption. Okay, this organization has accumulated very huge capacity or images size, and they had accumulated more than 100 petabytes of data, and they have used SNOWMOBILE to send the data to Amazon data center. Now the digital globe data is in Amazon data center. They used SNOWMOBILE. They use the container to copy the data. See, if I go and check that digital globe use case, you will be able to understand that how beneficial it is. Okay, let me go and open up quickly. See, there are many use cases, but digital globe is a very good use case. If you look at here, so this is the, I mean, you can go through the video and all, but they copied the petabytes of data in weeks itself. If you go and copy it, you are using your network or internet, it might have taken at least 7 years to copy that data which they had, but they have copied the data within weeks itself. Okay, using this container option. So that's the huge difference it is making. Okay, so you can copy all the data up to many petabytes of data. Okay, the company actually moved at least 70 terabytes of archive data. Okay, in very few weeks they copied it. I think there is some document which has very detailed use case information. Let me tell you. Next most. See, the company's profile is like they will collect the images from satellite from different satellites and they will store it. There was a very good document. I don't remember which document it is. Okay, anyways, that is all sales point. But still, if you look at here, there was a very good selling point. Basically 90 days. Okay. So this data has been accumulated for more than, see, in 2017 itself, this is like 17 years of data. Now it is again 23 years of data they have moved to Amazon data center. Just 1 minute. Okay, see, this is one sample image from digital globe. This is a particular maybe like an island or complete image of a, like it is very granular. This just one image can be that big, actually very huge capacity, because it is taking it from the satellite, right? So if you go through this complete document, you can understand like what was the complete benefit. Okay, so this is the digital globe data center. Okay, and they have parked this AWS SNOWMOBILE container next to the data center, and they have copied the data. This is all just some evidences, but let me quickly see if they have given some data points. I have seen it somewhere. Yeah. Okay, if you want to copy it using tape technology, it might have taken you up to 8,700 tapes. Okay, but then they copied it with only one container. Okay, and using the transfer technology. Okay, this project, if they have gone through the internet option, they might have taken up to 7 years or something like a very huge number of years it was mentioned. Okay, but then they were able to copy it with very less number of days itself. Okay, so that's the kind of option that they provide. Okay, go ahead. If there is a question, please ask.
Stanley, this is a one-time movement or how
Yeah,
they
it
will
is
do?
one-time option. See, that's where the difference is, right? If you are going to continuously have data transfer options, then you need to go for AWS Direct Connect or VPN based on your capacity, right? This is for continuous data copy. If you have continuous data replication and if you want to have continuous data transfer, then you need to go for Direct Connect or site-to-site VPN to transfer it securely and safely. But this is like one time. Okay, this is all one-time options.
Because
But you
why
can
I'm
use it.
curious
Okay, yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
okay, yeah, my curious is because since you know that this company is processing about the images, might be
Mm-hmm,
you know it could be bigger in size, right?
mm-hmm,
So what's the technology currently they might opted for AWS? Since you know might be they are gathering hundreds of images from every day,
mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
they might be sent through internet, right, for the data center.
Yeah, I understood that. See, they might have used Lustre or it again the company's technology, the company's preference matters, right? So they might have preferred any of this technology, but on the back end, it is stored in Amazon S3 only. Okay, the back end storage is Amazon S3, even though
uh,
it is 100 petabyte or whatever. The back end technology is Amazon S3 at the end. Okay, they are storing the data in Amazon S3 and they are going to consume it. See, if you are transferring it using this one or this one or this one, irrespective of the transfer technology, at the end Amazon is going to copy the data to S3 only in the data
mm,
center.
mm. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it will be
okay.
made available through S3. But in the future, like if some customer is very specific and they want to store and access it using some specific file system technology, they might also give that option. But it is for one time, okay? Mainly for if you want to move petabytes or gigabytes of data, then you need to go and use this technology. But only if you don't have a very good adequate bandwidth. If you have an adequate internet bandwidth, then you can try to transfer it over the internet itself. Okay, because see this technology will help you save number of days for cutover. See, for example, if you have very less number of days to cut over, then over the weekend you can copy the data and then send it to the AWS, and you can do a final synchronization and make the AWS storage endpoint available to the user over the weekend itself. Okay, but if you are doing it through the internet, you have very high challenges that the replication might not complete or the final sync might not complete. Okay, this way, like they
Mm-hmm.
are giving this particular snowball edge, there is one more better option. You can connect it in the network, and you can also give access to the end users also. Like that option is also available. If you want to send it on Saturday and you want to try and give access to the end users on Friday before the final sync, you can also give access to the snowball edge on Friday itself, and from Friday itself they'll start using this, and you can send it to the cloud, and you can continue using the same storage endpoint from Amazon data center. Okay, that option is also there. See, if you look at here, I'll show you the picture quickly. So it is again, I think I had a slide, but let me check the slides also. If you go and look at it, the snowball edge or snowball on the back end, you can see that it has got this where exactly it is. So you can see the network cable, and also on the front end display, it will show you which data center you want to send, which Amazon S3 you want to copy to. So you can see it will be placed in your network room or data center, and you can purchase more than one also. Okay, you just go and connect it on the internet, sorry, on the network, and start copying the data. So you can see that there are some management port as well as data transfer port. There will be multiple network port in that. Okay, this is how they will send it. Okay, it's like a suitcase. You can bring it, and if you attend some Amazon reinvent or Amazon session, they will be having these kind of displays. You can just go and look and feel and all those things. Yeah. So it will be like this on the back end. So it will have some network ports for data transfer, and for management there will be a separate network port. Let me see if I have some slides, but yeah, that is how it looks like. But if you want to have continuous replication, then you can use these technology. And there is one more option which we can also see in practical called AWS Data Sync. Okay, this is again for continuous replication. Continuous replication from on-prem to your S3 or your EFS or FSX. You can use this particular AWS Data Sync to continuously replicate from your on-prem to these different file system technologies. Yeah, so since you asked it, I'm just listing it down. Otherwise, I was supposed to just discuss this one. So any specific question from anyone? Okay, this is not just used for data into AWS. Even if you want to move out of AWS also, this is also the same thing you can use. But again, you have to pay for the entire capacity you are going to transfer out. See, they call it as edge transport technology, meaning it will be connected in your data center, and it will be put in on the DMZ network, and they will process the data. Okay, this particular device is going to collect and process the data at the edge network. It is not going to be connected in your direct network, but these are all portable devices, right? So you can connect and disconnect based on your requirement. So any questions from anyone? Okay, so let me capture a couple of more points here. See, if the challenges that the customer will have is they will have very limited internet connection. Okay, or they will have limited or unstable internet network. Okay, they don't want to take that risk. They will might have limited bandwidth, or in their regional location the network transfer cost or the internet cost might be highly chargeable. Cost might be high because we never know, right? Different countries charges different, and the different network providers, and the this is the very important thing, the connection stability. Some region they don't provide very good stable network. In that case, you can go for this offline transfer method. This is one time, and this is called this is not online, this is offline uh, transfer method. And there is a actual table that is available on the internet. Okay, you can just go and if some customers ask, like, I have 10 terabyte of data, okay, and how much time it is going to take in order to copy this 10 terabyte to Amazon. See, if you have if you assume like you are using the 10 GB speed SNOWBALL edge, okay, if your on-premises network supports 10 Gbps speed end to end from your system to SNOWBALL edge, if it supports, then you can copy 10 terabyte in just 3 hours and send it back to Amazon. But again, your on-premises network technology has to support end-to-end that 10 Gbps. If you have only 1 gigabyte speed, then it might take up to 30 hours. It will be exactly 10 times, right? So it depends on how speed is your on-premises data center or on-premises end-to-end network. If you're talking about 1 petabyte data, then with 1 Gbps, it might take up to 120 days or 125 days. But with 10 Gbps, you can copy it in 12 days itself. So that's the 10 times difference, right? So it all depends on how much speed the on-premises network can provide you end to end from the device to the system from where you are copying. Okay, so this is the beautiful thing. 1 petabyte can be copied in 2 weeks time. You will not imagine, right? So that good these technologies are. So these are used for data transfer. Okay, if it takes more than a week to transfer over the network, always use SNOWBALL edge. Okay, if you feel your data transfer will take more than 1 week, go for this. Okay, any other question or any other points anyone want to add? Okay, if not, let's see what we can do. Let me go and see the option on how to order it. Okay, let's go and look at it. Not Azure. So if I go and order it, it gives you option to whether you are planning to import into S3 or you are going to export into export from S3. So these are the two options. This is what you asked, right? So that is the options you get. Either you want to import it into S3 or you want to export from S3 to your on-premises. So these are the two default options you get to AWS and from AWS to on-prem. If you want to take it back, if you are not happy with AWS and if you want to go back, then you have to use the same option. And this one is mainly on your what do you call the AWS Outpost option. And you can also use storage gateway. Storage gateway I'll explain shortly. But if you want to import it into X3, it will ask you a lot of different questions, like how much capacity you have, whether you have smaller files or whether you have larger files, whether you have some compliancy requirement, some benchmark. There will be a lot of questions that will be asked by the Amazon support team before they send it. Okay, so let me capture it. Okay, so they will ask all these details, how long, what they want to use, how much capacity they have, and based on that, you can just select this and acknowledge, and you can go and create the address. You can go and add an address, which data center they want to, they want to ship that particular device. These devices I'm talking about, they will be sending you the disk to a server and all those things, right? They will ask which location they want to send it. You can fill in the shipping location. Once after you fill in the location, they will ask, they will provide you the job details, like which provider you want to use. You want to use FedEx, or if you want to use whatever courier company there, you can choose based on your location, and then you can ask the security preferences. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll just use some sample address here. Click next. Okay, here they give you these options. Okay, which device you want to choose, whether you want to use the SNOWCONE or okay, these are the 5 different options they provide. Within SNOWCONE itself, they give you 2 options with HDD and the SSD option. SSD is always little okay, so let me snow options. So there are few exam questions. Okay, that's the reason we are discussing all this thing. Okay, so you definitely need to understand these things. Okay, so with SNOWCONE SSD option, you get additional 14 TB SSD capacity, and these are all edge options. Okay, these are all like compute optimized with graphics. Some customers, they also need some graphics processing. Maybe they might be using it for some Netflix or some image processing or some video rendering. If they are using it, they might also ask with GPU also. Okay, you can select that if in case you have such use cases. And they provide only the device. That is very, very important. They don't provide you power supply or Ethernet cables and all. You need to purchase the power supply to connect the server or the device, and you also need to have the RJ45 cable and all those things. So okay, so you can select whichever you want, and you can choose which S3 bucket you want to copy. Okay, you need to do that. Okay, you need to create and choose the S3 bucket from where you want to send the data. And after you select all those things, you can also use a specific operating system. If you want to use Amazon or Windows AMI, you can choose which AMI you want to, and you can just go and complete the job. Okay, go ahead.
Stanley, we need not to purchase this device, right? Only we can order it. They
Yeah,
will
it's
send.
like renting. You are going to rent the device.
Okay, so okay, just let's assume that once they copied into AWS, how would you customer get the confirmation of the data cleanup?
Okay, they
Will they give
will
any?
see the thing is, like, if you are sending your own disk, they will return it. Okay, but if you are going and ordering Amazon thing, they will they have the standard. They will go and clean it up, and I mean, even if they send it back, also you can get it back, and if you want to clean it up, you can also clean it up. Okay, but if you are
Mhm.
trusting Amazon, you can ask them to do all the cleanup and
The
delete all the data. Yeah, yeah. See, there are a lot of conditions, right? Security preferences and so on. So you can also ask for the remote device management. There is a client that they give you. Okay, you can go and remotely unlock, reboot. They will allow you access it using the internet. Okay. Oh, okay. That reminds me one thing. Like, I did not show programmatic access of these storage technologies, right? So in general, okay, you can access the technology from the console, and also you can use some third party also. Okay, that reminds me, we have got 20 more minutes, right? Maybe I can show you that sample. But before that, any questions on the Snow family? Like, how do we I mean, what are the different options, what are the benefits you are getting? Any questions from anyone? See, this can all you can send it to remote data center also. Okay, so if your data center is in a very remote location, you can also send it there, and you get the benefit. Okay, but the important thing is you need to install the SNOWBALL client.
Stunt. Is that charges based on that size or data size or
Device. Device.
device? Yeah,
Yeah,
device.
yeah.
Okay.
Like based on your device which you're choosing, based on the device, it will, irrespective of the size you are copying, it is based on the device.
Okay.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, like, see, some people, they will have the rig, or they will have the data next to the shipping yard, or the data center might be in any location, right? So that's where these things you can they also can send the container to your rig also. If you have a data center inside the sea, or like next to the rig, also they can send and copy the data using SNOWCONE, or they also send that. If the if the courier company can send it there, they will also send it to such locations also to copy the data and do it. But let's also talk about the ops hub. There is a very good option you can install in your laptop and desktop. You can either install the SNOWBALL client, or you can install this ops hub. These are the two software client which you can install and use it for copying the data, or managing the data. But similarly, I'll show you some other third-party tools. Okay, let me see if I have any. Okay, this is again Linux only, I guess. But this is going to be very slow. I'll spin up something on Windows. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll show you how to programmatically access your Amazon file system from some third-party tools. Because after seeing that ops hub and all those things, I thought we can quickly check that programmatic method of accessing it. I'll quickly show you how that works. Why it is very slow. Just give me a second. I just want to spin up a machine, or if I have any existing machine, I can also power that. Okay, so all these are running, right? What is the capacity? 2 virtual CPU. Okay, I can use this. Okay, I'll log into this machine. How about this one? Okay, that is very. Okay, let me log into this machine. Oh, is this server core? Let me check. This is 2022 Azure Data Center Edition. This is Server Core Edition. I did not check that. Okay. How about this one? This is very small in size. Okay, this is fine. Okay, 2016. Oh, this machine is joined to domain, huh? Okay, anyway, that's fine. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so let me show you something. See, do we have any Amazon file system? Do we have any storage created? Network has become very slow. Let me check if there is any S3 or EFS or whatever. Oh, empty, huh? Okay, that's fine. Okay, I can just quickly create some stan demo bucket 1, and I can just create it. See, once after you create the bucket, you can access it from the console here in the Amazon. You can also use some third-party tools to access it. So how do we access it using the third party? Then there are two options. Okay, one, you can use the username and password of the AWS console to access it, or you can also access it from the programmatic way using the secret key and uh, access key and the secret access key. Okay, let me try to create a IAM. I'm not sure if I have got a IAM user. Okay, let me put some data here. Just a second. So I can try and install. Just give me a second. This might create some problem because this machine seems to be in domain. Just 1 second. Just 1 second, guys. Okay. I think we'll quickly reboot this also. Just let's give 1 more minute. Let's go and create IAM user meanwhile. Okay, so IAM is identity and access management, where we go and create users and so on. Okay, here I'll just go and create an user called, we'll discuss IAM in detail later, but for now, just for quick demo, I'll create a storage admin. And see, when you go and create a user in AWS IAM, you get two options. One option is to access the system on the AWS management console itself. So you can use your username and password. Okay, let me disconnect this 2022 system. So you can access it from the console using the username and password. We call it as programmatic access, the AWS management console access. That is username and password method. But you can also use another method called access key ID and secret access key usage method. This is similar to username and password, but this is mainly to connect from third-party software or any development tools or API or command line. Okay, I'll just go and create it. I'll also enable access key programmatic access, and also let me show you the password method also. I'll just have it. So here I can auto generate it, and I don't want to reset the password and all. Okay, let me go and give the permission. So here I can just go and attach some existing policy. Maybe I can just give them full access to S3 or specific tool. Okay, this user is going to get full access to Amazon S3. If I want to give him read-only access or whatever, I can just limit it. But I just want to give Amazon S3 full access. And if I give full administrator access, that is also going to cover everything. Okay, but if you want to specifically limit to a particular service, you can also limit it. Or if you want to give him full access to all the S3 and EC2 and all those stuff, then you can give him full admin access. Okay, so I've just created it, and after creation, you can see that it has generated the access key ID, secret access key, username and password, all those things. You can copy all these things. You can also send it in an email to the user. Okay, if you want to send it to a specific person, you can send it. So these are the credential that we have. So this is the password. This is the access key, secret access key, and the username and thing. So this is username, password, access key, secret access key. You have got four combinations. Sorry, two combinations, four details. Okay, this two is for programmatic access, and this one is for management console access, username and password method. And this is for your access key and secret access key. Okay, there are two credential type. One is the username and password, and the other one is secret access key and secret access key. Okay, access key method, secret access key method. This is username and password method. Okay, let me show you this method quickly. So now you can also download the CSV file just for safer side, because you will not be able to see the secret access key and the password later. Okay, you can just download it, or you can send it in an email so that you can have it as a reference later. Okay, now once after this is created, I can use that ID to log in. Okay, let me check whether the machine has got rebooted. I can copy, let me log in back. Okay, now it is much faster. After the domain removal, you can just go to, I'm not sure if it's got Chrome and all. Not there. Huh? Let me quickly download that. Oh shit. Let me remove this IE enhanced security, otherwise it will ask me for the details very often. Let me close this. What happened? Okay, this is all good. Let me check the networking. Outbound, any virtual network, internet. Just 1 second, guys. There is something that is not allowing me to access the internet. Oh, okay, source is only Azure Active Directory. Okay, let me remove these rules. Okay, allow inbound any internet. Any add. This any. Okay, let's go and check that now. Because like this was part of the domain, right? So possibly we might have had some specific DNS setting. Let me go and remove that. This was part of a AD domain. ifig_config/renew. Default DNS. Yeah, now it should work. Okay. Don't worry about all these things. Okay. So this is Azure platform, right? You just think that I have a machine. I'm preparing it to access the storage technology from the programmatic method. Okay, just give it a second. Let's install this. Okay. Now I can download any S3. I can download S3 browser or S3 third-party, any tool. Okay. So there are hundreds of tools that you can use for accessing S3. You can see that Get S3 browser in Microsoft Store itself is there. Okay, you have this Amazon S3 browser, Cloudberry tool. You have Nakivo tool. You have many tools. Okay, you have hundreds of third-party tool to access S3, EFS, and all those things. Now I can just go and download the free version. Okay, once after you download the third-party tool, you can install it, and this can be used to manage S3 specifically. There are tools which you can download to access multi-cloud also. When I say multi-cloud, so third-party tool to access multi-cloud storage. For example, if you want to access Azure Blob, GCP storage, and all those things, there are tools which gives you multi-cloud access. Okay, you can access multiple different cloud storage from one single tool itself. Like even there is a tool from NetApp itself. So now if you look at here, after I install it, it gives me option how I want to connect to Amazon S3, whether I want to connect it using the SSO key, or I want to connect to the China cloud or government cloud. I can use different methods, but let me show you the default method. So this is demo S3, and I can copy the access key and secret access key. It will ask for these two combination. Okay, that is what we have generated, right? So this is the access key. So if you want to access it from third-party SDK, or if you want to access it from any CLI or anything, then you need to have this access key ID and the secret access key. Okay. So if you want to encrypt the connection, you can also encrypt. If you want to use SSL, you can also use SSL. Now you can see that it will go and show me the different bucket in my account. You can see that stand demo bucket 01, right? That is what we had here. If you remember, we created only one bucket, one S3 bucket, and that is already visible now. Similarly, if I go and create multiple buckets, I can also go and create it either from the console here. This is the only one here, right? Now, if I want to go and create something like Pandian demo 01, and I can also go and create it. Now you can see that even that if I refresh it here, I'll be able to see that. See, Pandian demo 01 is here. Okay, and if I want to create one bucket from here, I can also do that. If I want to create only bucket 01, I can also create a specific region and I can create it. Okay, so now I can also go and refresh it here. See, Valley Bucket 01 in Ohio is actually created. So there are interesting third-party tools which you can use for managing multi-cloud storage environment, and also specific to S3 browser if you want to make use of these tools, right? See, for example, here, if I go and right-click here, it gives me option to configure website, versioning, transfer accelerated, cross-origin resource sharing, server-side encryption. You can also copy multiple files, move it here. You can also mount this S3 as a Windows drive. This is a beautiful option, right? You can use this tool to mount it as a drive in your system. You can use it as a network mapping drive. So there are very good options which you can leverage. You can also copy data from bucket to bucket, just drag and drop. You can upload the files here, upload the folders. You can create multiple folders as per your requirement. So you get a lot of easy way of, like with the GUI option, you can play around. See, I can upload some files from my machine. So this is like a good option. Okay, I don't have anything. I'm just checking. Okay, I'll just upload a couple of files, like one config file and one JSON file and so on. Okay, see, I can just quickly upload it. Just a minute. It's much faster. You can also select this. You can also copy it, or you can just move it. If you want to have copy to, you can also copy to another bucket like stand demo. Copy it there. Okay, it is copying. Okay, so you get very good options here. If I go inside it, you can see that config file coming up. And on this other one, you will see the folder with all the necessary files. So you have a lot of third-party tools which can make things a little easier. And if you upgrade to professional version, it will be much quicker and all those things. You also have the bucket sharing option. You can share this bucket with multiple tools. You can also sync this particular one folder to another folder. Okay, you have very good options. You can also do a security scan and look for any vulnerabilities or all those things. You can also check the log. You have the all the access log, like what kind of things you downloaded, uploaded, how many objects you created. You'll have complete details of what has been done since the beginning. How many buckets are created, when it got created, so how many files got established. There are a lot of additional things you can get from this third-party tool sets. Okay, you can also change the policy. You can also edit logging. Okay, what level of log I need, whether I specifically need to have more logs for a specific bucket. You can also go and change it. Okay, you can install it and play around. Just I thought of let you guys know that there are a lot of third-party tools that can make work with Amazon storage in a efficient way. See, I got to remember that because like in general, we also use some third-party, Amazon native client tools like SNOWBALL client and OpsHub, just for accessing the storage and copying it, right? Similarly, you can use your own wish. There are many tools, okay? Cloudberry Explorer and all, it will be much interesting. Okay, I'll quickly show you that. If I go for Cloudberry Explorer, it gives you option to copy data from Azure to GCP, Google Drive, OneDrive. It's like multiple different cloud can be connected from one tool itself. This is mainly for Amazon S3, but there are other tools which you can download for the multi-cloud access also. But again, the method is the same. You have to use the access key and secret access key. Okay, any questions or any doubt from anyone on how to play around with these things? You guys are tired, huh? So the TNT drive is needed. No questions? Okay, if there is no question, we'll go and take the dinner break and come back, and we'll discuss on the remaining information on the AWS storage. But I'll be here for 2 more minutes before I start the timer. Any questions? Okay, I need to restart, right? I'll restart it. Okay, if there are no questions, let me start the timer. Let's go and have the dinner and come back, and we'll continue on the storage family. Stop the recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so now we have got one more important topic, especially from exam standpoint, on how to deal with the hybrid concept, right? Hybrid storage options, or how hybrid storage integration options. So that is what we are going to discuss for the next 30 minutes or so. Okay, and then we'll see how much we can cover. Okay, with that said, as I told, it's going to be hybrid option. So many organizations